Dan Hodges. Welcome, Dan.
Morning.
Well, first of all, your thoughts on the big story of the weekend. David Lammy will face the Commons today to be asked questions about what the hell happened with this Ethiopian migrant, the most notorious, best-known asylum seeker sex offender in the country, released by mistake by Chelmsford jail, apparently 4 or 5 times tried to go back, so I'm not sure that this is right. No, get the hell out of here. Eventually, angrily, they told her, look, the station's down there. Will you just go and get on the train? It's on the left up there. Off he went. Arrested yesterday morning, finally, when 2 members of the public, 2 women, saw him waiting at a bus stop in Finsbury Park in North London. Police now slapping themselves on the back, saying, oh, what a marvellous, diligent operation. No, you got a lucky phone call. David Lammy going down to the cop shop saying, I'm here because it's part of my constituency. I want to thank the police for this magnificent operation. Well, I would think that David Lammy should be very worried. I mean, in the old days, he would lose his job over this. I don't suppose he will this time, but he's got serious questions to answer. The prison governor, a guy called Mark Howard, must surely be on the rack about this. The fact that all we've got so far is 1 prison officer has been suspended, that's not enough. We are in an accountability situation. We need accountability, don't we?
We certainly do. I mean, obviously, we have to wait for the details of this. I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, obviously, David Lammy has only been in post a relatively short amount of time. This seems to be, you know, an operational failure rather than a policy failure. But the broader issue is this, you know, this just staggering incident is just feeding in to a general perception that the government, whether rightly or wrongly, just is not able to manage even the basics. I mean, we're having a huge national debate at the moment about whether or not and how we detain and deport illegal migrants, how in particular we detain and deport dangerous illegal migrants. And we've got a situation here where even when those illegal migrants present themselves to the authorities and say, in this case, literally, I want to go back to prison, the authorities just let them walk free. And if we, you know, and I think what most people will be saying is, look, if we couldn't even keep under lock and key and deport this guy, how are we seriously gonna keep under lock and key and deport the large numbers of people that do need to be removed from the country?
I've just got this statistic here that between April 2024 and March 2025, so up until March this year, the Prison and Probation Service accidentally released 262 prisoners that shouldn't have been released. So that figure's quite alarming. I've just interviewed a former prison governor called Vanessa Frake, who revealed to me something I think is quite shocking, that actually the people on the gates of the doors of prisons, the ones who maintain the big gates, are not prison officers. They're subcontracted people, you know, with a lesser job. That might be something we need to look at. We need serious professionals on the gates, don't we?
Well, quite clearly we do. I mean, you would think opening and shutting a gate would be a pretty basic element of incarcerating dangerous people. But I mean, it may well be that part of the issue is that the sort of cascade of privatisation of just about every aspect of public services over the last few years and the last couple of decades, maybe that needs to be looked at again. But as I say, we've got to wait for the details of this. But the broader issue is, as I say, it just feeds into this narrative that basically the government could not, that the current government couldn't run a world school, you know, and that's the basic political problem. And in a sense, David Lammy, I don't think is quite clearly not going to resign over this, and it may well be right that he doesn't resign over this. But the broader political damage has already been done, because you just cited the number of people who are accidentally released every year. I mean, there comes a point for a government where you just can't catch a break. It doesn't matter what you do. And Keir Starmer is reaching that point now. I mean, the chances that one of those people happened to be the most high-profile illegal migrant in the country, following on from all the issues we've seen over the last year. I mean, frankly, I just don't know how Keir Starmer is going to turn around his political fortunes, because, I mean, this is just it's getting beyond a joke now, frankly.
It is. I mean, what we saw over this weekend was like a sort of snapshot of the broken Britain that Starmer presides over, if you like, two-tier Keir's broken Britain. And he had a terrible, terrible week last week. I want to ask you something, Dan. I read, I can't remember what it was, about a week ago. You wrote a column for the Mail, and the intro, the first paragraph, was extremely striking. I believe it was the Prime Minister Keir Starmer lied to the House of Commons yesterday. And this was about the Chinese spy trial. And you unequivocally said in your newspaper, in your column, the Prime Minister lied to the House of Commons. That's an extraordinary thing for someone in your position to be able to say. Tell us why you were justified in saying that.
Well, as you say, I think that column was written either a week ago or over a week ago, and you're right. It's obviously a very serious charge to make against any prime minister, and it wasn't one I made lightly. But it was quite clear from the evidence, and it had been presented at that time, and it was quite clear what Keir Starmer and other ministers had said to the House of Commons, particularly in this idea that their hands were somehow tied by what the position of the Conservative government at the time the spying offences took place, that their hands had somehow been tied by that. And that, even at that point, it was quite clear that wasn't the case. But since I've written that article, we've had a series of about half a dozen additional lies from the Prime Minister and from ministers about this case. It goes from, as I say, what they were able to say. It goes to what was actually in the witness statements that were presented on behalf of the government. It's about what people knew and when they know it. And just about every single statement of significance that we've had on this issue has turned out not to be true. And the reality is, we've got. I think my understanding is we've got more evidence sessions on this taking place today, and we will find out once those sessions are over that ministers will either have directly lied or will have misled Parliament about the nature of this scandal.
And I mean, did you have any comeback when you, with that, as I say, that very striking intro, as we say in journalism, your first paragraph, the Prime Minister lied to the House of Commons yesterday. Any word back from his office? Because
Well, look, I'm not going to go into the details of conversations I have with his office. I think it's fair to say that it was communicated that there were some concerns.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
My article, but. As I say, I mean, I can only say what the facts demonstrate. Since then, we've had it demonstrated beyond a shadow of doubt that what the Prime Minister and his ministers said to the House of Commons was not true.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we've had some trouble. I mean, Mike and me and various people here have quite regularly called the Prime Minister a liar, because he does have this tendency to lie. And you get these kind of, oh, you called the Prime Minister a liar yesterday. And when we basically say, well, that's because he did lie. And then it just goes away. So we've got this extraordinary spectacle of a government. It's not just him. This cabinet, their default setting when in trouble seems to be to tell fibs, and that is not acceptable. You talked earlier, Dan, about this general perception of Keir Starmer presiding over a country that's falling apart, that his government just is not fit for purpose, that he is not a competent Prime Minister. We had the Kafili result last week, which was catastrophic for Labour. They lost Caerphilly down in Wales, a constituency they've held literally forever. They've lost that. They lost it badly. That result will have been algorithmically analysed left, right and centre by the statisticians, by the number 10 down numbers people. They will have worked out that Keir Starmer is untenable, surely, going forward. How much longer do you think he can last? How much longer can he hang on? It won't be for that much longer, will it?
No, I mean, I thought basically next year's local elections would be the tipping point, but we've had, but frankly, I mean, we had the we had the local election, we had the Labour deputy leadership election over the weekend, in which Keir Starmer's chosen candidate and hand-picked candidate, Bridget Phillipson, was roundly defeated in what was effectively a sort of a de facto referendum on Keir Starmer's leadership, and that was, you know, that wasn't just members of the public voting. That was sort of hardcore Labour members and MPs who were involved in that contest. And as you said, in addition to that, we had last week, I mean, the week from hell doesn't even begin to describe it. I mean, it was just day after day of another litany of failure from the government. And as I said last week, on really serious issues, on issues like lying to the House on the government's China policy, on the collapse of the immigration policy, on the failure, you know, to protect the Jewish community in this country. You know, we're not talking, as I said, we're not talking, you know, the Dangerous Dogs Bill or the Combs Hotline. These are really fundamental structural problems at the heart of government, and Keir Starmer quite simply and quite obviously can't grip them. So I think the only question for me now, speaking to ministers, speaking to Labour MPs, is whether or not Keir Starmer can actually make it to the local elections, frankly. I think he probably can, but be under no illusion, he has no more political capital left. If there were to be one more major political crisis or political scandal or political screw-up between now and May, then I think at that point Labour MPs are going to move. And the key thing to remember as well is this: all of this, everything we've been seeing, all the chaos, that is all going to just look like a hill of beans compared to what's going to happen to the government when Rachel Reeves stands up in the budget and basically has to turn around and say, you know, when I said I wouldn't come back for more taxes, you know, when I said I wouldn't come back for more spending, you know, when I said I won't come back for more borrowing, that was all a lie as well. Yeah. At that point, you know, it's frankly game over for Keir Starmer. But then it's game over already. So
yeah, will she blame Brexit for her budget? Do you think
she'll blame Brexit? She'll blame, you know, Rishi Sunak. She'll blame Liz Truss. You know, she'll probably blame Ange Postecoglou. She'll blame the weather. She'll blame absolutely everybody but herself. But obviously it won't work. I mean, it simply won't. It simply won't work. People just won't put up with the excuses anymore. I
mean, this mansion tax she's talking about, whereby everybody with who owns a home worth more than £2 million will have to start paying 10 grand extra, presumably if you have a house. Per year, this is. Presumably, if you have a house worth 4 million, it will be 20,000 and so on and so forth. Somebody pointing out this morning, well, who's going to do these valuations? I could see that is going to be a real difficult area, because people are going to go, well, we have estimated your house is worth £3 million. People are going, well, I say it's not. So going forward, this mansion tax, taxing people on their property value, I think is going to present a world of difficulty, a world of trouble.
Well, look, frankly, if Rachel Reeves was going to raise taxes in a way that protected working people, genuine working people, and solely asked the richest to pay a little bit more, I think that in normal political circumstances, that would be politically sustainable for her. But the problem with Rachel Reeves and what Rachel Reeves is about to announce is, as I said, it's not going to be about what she announced. It's about what she said last year and the cast iron promises she gave last year and what she's actually done now. And the budget is not going to be about economics. It's going to be about trust. And basically, the Tories are going to turn around and they are going to say, see, Labour lied, Rachel Reeves lied, Keir Starmer lied, you simply can't trust them. And the problem for Labour is that will be proved to be 100% correct. And what Rachel Reeves will do is, yes, she will try and say, I am simply ring-fencing these tax increases for those who are the wealthiest in our society, but people are going to look at property taxes, they're going to look at the other taxes that she's introducing, and they're going to think, it's starting there, but by the end of this, because of the direction of travel, it's going to end up with me. Rachel Reeves, whatever she says, is going to end up taxing me. Rachel Reeves is going to say, no, don't trust me. No, trust me. I'm only going to tax rich people. But this is the point. No one's going to trust her anymore. No one's going to believe her. On the day she sits down, having delivered the budget, which raises taxes, having pledged not to raise taxes, Rachel Reeves' political and economic credibility are over. It's over for her, and it's over for Keir Starmer at that point.
One other area, Dan, big trouble for the Labour government, ongoing trouble, obviously, is the migrant crisis. Lucy Powell, who won the election to become the deputy leader of the party, that was a stinging blow to the Prime Minister because he wanted his candidate, Bridget Phillipson, to win. Lucy Powell will be a thorn in his side. Now, we know how bad this government is on the migrant crisis. Their one-in, one-out scheme has become a sort of national sick joke. It's just pathetic and baffling, and nobody can quite work out what it's supposed to be all about. A deterrent, it most certainly is not. But what the British people do want is some kind of firm resolution on this issue, plans to deter, plans to get to grips with it. We learn now that Lucy Powell, in her new exalted position, has told the Prime Minister to go softer on the migration crisis, on the migrant crisis. Now, if he heeds what she says and starts being even less full of resolution when it comes to the migrant crisis, the people aren't going to like that, are they?
Yeah, but this is, again, it's part of the problem, and we're going to be seeing a lot of this now. As I said, everybody in the Labour Party knows Keir Starmer is about to face a leadership challenge. It's only a matter of when. So what Lucy Powell and every other senior member of the Labour Party is starting to do is they're starting to lay the groundwork for that contest. It's an open secret that Lucy Powell is a close ally of Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham is a lot of people's current favourite to be to replace Keir Starmer. So she is simply starting to plough the road. And what you're going to be seeing from Lucy, from other senior members of Labour, is they're increasingly not going to be focusing on talking to the country, and they're increasingly going to be focusing on talking to Labour Party members. That is going to be part of the sort of the fracture that's going to start taking place in government over the next few months. And we're going to see that. We will see the various leadership candidates jockeying for position. We had Angela Rayner's supposed resignation speech in the Commons last week. It was basically the opening of a leadership pitch. Wes Streeting is going to increasingly, Wes Streeting, always seen as a moderniser, he is increasingly going to start adopting positions which align him more closely with Labour's base. We're going to get more interventions from Andy Burnham, again aligning himself with Labour's base, and the rest of the cabinet will start to go down this route as well. And what we're going to see is you're going to see Keir Starmer gradually simply decoupling from his own government and sort of drifting off to a position of political irrelevance as his party start to have the internal discussion about who's going to replace him.
Dan, excellent to talk to you. Love your work. Thank you very much for your time. That's Dan Hodges, commentator, economist on the Mail on Sunday.